Hi, I'm Justine from Growing Outside of the Box. I bought my first freeze dryer in October of 2021, and some of the things that I didn't realize about it when I bought it is that it's a pretty complicated machine. I'm creating this video so that I can share with you some of the things that I learned about the basic process involved in freeze drying so that you can troubleshoot or better understand your machine and how it works. The first thing you need to know is that there's 3 cycles to the process of freeze drying: freezing, vacuum freezing, and drying. Cycle number 1, freezing, gets your food down to negative temperatures. The second cycle is the vacuum freeze cycle, in which it pressurizes while freezing. In this process, the machine gets to low pressure so that the liquid in your food goes from a liquid state to a vapor. And the way that pressure is measured in the freeze drying machine is called mTOR. So it's the MTRR abbreviation. Okay, it's the units that are being measured for pressurizing. During the vacuum freezing phase, you'll see the mTORs go from 2,500 down below 500. If it gets below 500, it's doing what it needs to do, and it will not be able to vacuum freeze if it isn't below 500. So if you're having issues with your machine getting below 500, see my next video because I'll go into that some more. But that's a really key process during that phase of the cycle. I find that cycle 2, the vacuum freezing phase, is a little bit longer than the freezing phase, just so you know as you can see it in process. The third stage of your freeze drying cycle is the drying cycle. This is the longest cycle, and once it gets there, you're out of the woods for any pressure errors. So the drying process takes out all of the extra moisture in your food up to 99% in order to store your food long term. Once the drying process ends, your machine will give you an option to add more time. You may want to add more drying time depending on whatever it is that you're freeze drying. I bought a moisture meter off of Amazon. It's something that you can use for construction, for wood, or in drywall. And you just use it to test whether or not there's any moisture left in your food. I highly recommend it. So as a newbie freeze dryer, some of the mistakes I made were I tried to freeze dry oranges. They're still sticky. You can see it on my fingers, sign that it's not dry enough. So you'd have to add more time in this case. Sometimes immediately when you're pulling it out, it's hard to tell. That's why the moisture meter is important. Another example of something that's under freeze dried is these strawberries. You can tell because if it was fully freeze dried, it wouldn't bend, it would snap. Okay, so something snapping is a good indicator that it is freeze dried all the way. After the drying process, you'll be able to open up your machine and you'll see that sometimes there's ice collected along the side. That's normal. That means that all that water vapor during the vacuum freezing process just collected as ice on the side of the machine. You always want to defrost the machine before doing another load or finishing the process. I hope that helped you understand the process of the Harvest Right freeze dryer. If you want more information, I will link some other videos up above, including troubleshooting if you're not able to reach those phases in the freeze drying process. Have a great day.